And for God's sakes, take a damn shower.
Wash your ass. Non-negotiable. Can't replace it with just rinsing off in the sink. Wash
With
your ass.
soap.
And a washcloth. A real washcloth.
Even, you know what? Yes. A washcloth, a loofah, all the scrubby things. Put it on your body, lather up. Welcome back to the High Score Haven. This is Blackbeard Slim and this is Bakes Motel 6. And today we got the High Score Haven official travel guide, which actually is a product of me and Base's recent trip to MagFest and some other cons and tournaments that we've been to. And we're authorities on the subject. We could give some people some tips, add some value, and just have a good time on stream.
Share experience. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we got about 4 parts that we want to go over. So the first one is going to be kind of what to do before you go out and travel. The second thing, or kind of subject 1B, will be what to bring, things to bring with you and make sure you have. Then the next is, what is the next thing? The next thing is...
Okay, there we go.
Yep, the next thing is some FGC specific stuff. If you're going to a tournament, or FGC specific, because that's what we know. I mean, I haven't been to a Halo tournament since college. As far as con hygiene tips, because some of y'all are smelling like. So we're gonna help you out there. And last but not least, second segment will be the venue meta, what to expect once you actually get there, once you're at the event. And then the third segment will be kind of what to do at a tournament specifically, kind of like in tournament etiquette, what you can expect there, some of the terminology. And last, kind of what to do if you're going by yourself for the first time. Because a lot of people, they kind of have some apprehension about going to a strange new city all by themselves. So we'll kind of give you some tips on how to navigate that. And to round it out, we're going to talk about some mistakes that we made. And so you don't have to make those mistakes. Captain the First Mate, you did that. So hopefully you ain't got to do that.
Don't take a whole edible gummy without telling somebody first.
Yeah, we're going to get in that story later. That's fun.
I mean, just don't do it.
Yeah,
take part of it. Stick with what you know.
All right, so I guess we start off with its pre-travel. So you just heard about this exciting new tournament. You hear about Maximo, you hear about CEO, Jazzy Circuit, or you hear about a con like MomoCon, MagFest, DragonCon, all this kind of stuff. You're like,
Combo Breaker.
Yep, Combo Breaker. And you're thinking to yourself, wow, that looks awesome. I want to go. But wait 1 second. Can you even afford it?
Yep.
So that's the first thing you got to figure out. Do you even got the funds? And if you don't got the funds, how you gonna get the funds? Maybe you work a little overtime. Maybe you do some side hustles, that kind of stuff. Or even then, maybe are you planning on going by yourself? Do you plan on going with some friends? Because a lot of what's helped us as far as going to cons and stuff like that, especially MagFest, has been sharing a room with someone. Yes,
and with people that we, actually do know and get along with, and
Mm-hmm. So, and what's kind of cool is, like, usually the people that we go with have like a whole spreadsheet about because a con like MagFest has different hotels you can stay in, and we'll talk about like hotels and stuff actually here in a little bit. But as far as like the different hotels you can go to,
what's available at the venue, and if there's blocked out rooms and stuff because of that venue being in, or the event being in town.
Exactly. Yeah, because I'm gonna tell you right now. Here's an early tip: book early, because stuff will fill up fast. Especially the more popular the con is or the tournament is. Like we just saw that with Combo Breaker. Like the venue hotel sold out.
Yeah, and it's not until May.
Yeah, it's not until Memorial Day, and good luck getting a hotel already. So. But anyway, as far as like the group buy strategy, you also got to think about things like splitting. You think about things like splitting costs. Sorry about that, my phone was ringing. Respecting sleep schedules, and who's sleeping on the floor versus who's sleeping in the bed. Stuff you'll figure out when you get there. So, speaking of venues, so my hard and fast rule, our hard and fast rule on venues is just stay in the venue hotel if at all possible.
Yes, definitely because I'm one who goes on vacation or something like that, and I don't sleep at home. So when I go out to a place and it's a hotel, I don't know why, but I decide I'm going to sleep. Or if I get too tired or just don't want to people anymore, not being able to immediately get to my private space or whatever bothers me, which will cause everyone around me to be bothered. I promise you that.
and maybe you're kind of like Bates too, where even it's just more convenient. Where, like you said, you can just kind of dip off where you're kind of tired of the noise of the event. You can just go in your room, catch a quick nap instead of having to, leave the venue, get in your car, drive to the hotel, pay for parking.
Oh God, and especially if you have to pay both places, your place that you're parking and there. Oh no.
Forget about it. Or let's just say you think you're smart, you think you're going to get an Uber.
Yeah.
Those Ubers will add up on your behind too. So, like I said, what a lot of people will do is they'll book just the cheapest hotel available, and they realize is about 20 miles away from the venue. And it's like...
Back and forth.
Yeah,
and then, too, the availability of when you're going to be able to go and what time you're going to be able to go.
Yeah, like the actual schedule for the event, because... depending on what time you got to play in a game, or you have a certain panel you want to go to at a con or something like that, or a certain like a live music or something like that, and kind of things like that. And also, certain cities have special things to think about. Let's say you're going to Evo in Vegas. Like I'll tell you right now, someone who's been to Vegas a couple of times, you definitely want to stay on the monorail if at all possible.
Right.
It makes traveling a lot more convenient, or at least be walking distance from a place as well.
Yes.
Because I think that saved us. Where were we at? We had a couple of trips where we were walking distance. We went to Playthrough in Raleigh, and that really helped.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
because it was, and that's where we never went swimming.
Right. Oh, that's a good point too. So also, as far as like the hotels and stuff, like see what kind of amenities and stuff they have too. So as far as
Doc says that tourneys nowadays are just too expensive, and Combo Break is near his birthday.
Oh, nice. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Dockin's birthday. But yeah, tournaments nowadays, because they are becoming a big thing, are more expensive. And like I said, that's where you got to get a little resourceful with your money. Whether you got to save for a year, because the events are coming, whether we can afford them or not. The events are definitely coming. So if like Combo Breakers in May, and you really want to go, then quite honestly, you probably should have been saving money since last May. But
yeah,
the other events as well.
But that's another thing about being able to room with other people. Mm. And I think there is, I'm not sure for Combo Breaker specifically, but I know for Evo, there was like a Discord or whatever, and then it breaks down to like if there are people that need help. Mm-hmm. So it gets you to stop. Damn it, can't think of it now.
Yeah, but if at all possible, network.
That's what it does. It helps you network with other people that are in your area, because you can carpool, like people who are going to be driving, or if you're your destination, like the airport, so you need somebody to pick you up from the airport. Somebody will be able to do that or what have you. So you don't have to rely only on your own finances, but that way you know what to plan, and somebody else is going to be there and they need the help too.
And I would argue in the FGC, because it is like a smaller sector of gamers, the community is a little more tight knit. So somebody knows somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm the whole just getting in with any random stranger. I understand, especially for the ladies. Some things can happen with that, so you gotta be careful. But you definitely want to vet people out.
Yes.
Whether it's having a conversation with them or only going with people that you kind of know within like 2 or 3 degrees or so.
Yeah. And there's always people that can help you do that vetting. If you know any kind of chick that's had an ex and you've heard some wild stories, let her research, because they will find some shit on. They do that. I don't know how they do. I don't personally have that availability to me yet. Maybe I'll get it one day. Yeah. But I know people who do.
All right. So the last kind of thing to know, and this is something you're gonna have drilled into your head throughout the entire con. We call it the 3-2-1 rule, and this is the golden rule of conventions and tournaments. So if you don't take nothing else from this podcast, remember 3 hours of sleep minimum. Because again, there's a lot to do, and you want to be well rested to actually enjoy it. You don't want to have the con go by and you're just like, huh? Or
be a cranky little toddler.
Yeah, or just be not a pleasure to be around, because no one's going to want that. And that's going to affect your ability to, get rooms and stuff like that in the future, or, have
or
a good
falling
time.
asleep when you need to be awake, like for your ride home or whatever, anything potential that you could. Yeah, sleep is necessary.
You got it. talking with black beers and things. But as far as but also a tournament too, guys. You're competing against people who do this for a living. So you best believe they're getting their sleep. You don't think Justin Wong gets his sleep? You don't think insert player here gets his sleep or her sleep? So this is a big one too that me and Bates always try to follow. At least 2 meals a day, and that's real meals,
real food, an actual. You need to have some type of meat, protein, vegetable, and you need water, like a complete meal.
And we'll talk a little bit later about how to get around that, but just as a general rule, make sure you're eating at least 2 real meals. Yeah, have snacks too, but again, we'll talk about that later. And for God's sakes, take a damn shower!
Wash your ass. Non-negotiable. Can't replace it with just rinsing off in the sink. Wash your ass.
Soap!
And a washcloth. A real washcloth.
Even, you know what? Yes. A washcloth, a loofah, all the scrubby things. Put it on your body, lather up.
With soap that lathers, exactly.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. And it ain't got to be expensive. You can go to Walmart and get the little travel things.
Some hotels already have the shit in there. Use that. I don't care, but wash yourself.
Yeah. And brush your
once
teeth.
a day.
All that stuff.
Every day.
Yeah. For best results, twice. But at least once. At least once. Should take you through it. All right, so now we kind of
little bird baths or whore baths, that doesn't count. And dousing yourself in Axe does not make up for not taking a shower.
Oh God, no, it does not. So the next thing we're gonna do is talk about a little bit of a packing list, some things to bring, some things that you need to have, and we've divided these up into 4 tiers. The first tier are the things that they're non-negotiable. You will be miserable without this stuff. So these are things that if you don't take them, they're going to ruin the trip. You might as well not even go. So battery banks, not just one. Bring 2 battery banks. And this is something I have to remind myself of all the time because them phones will drain they will guzzle they'll guzzle power. And one for your phone and one for your friends or significant others.
And 2, thing about the phone things is when you're not going to use it or you're not going to need it, put it in airplane mode so it doesn't keep roaming, so it will help conserve your battery as well.
Good tip.
Because that's one of the things that nobody realizes. You leave the hotel, your phone's charged 100%. No. And then 3 hours later, it's like, what? You're at 15%? It's going to die. All because, and you weren't even using your phone.
Searching for a signal.
Yeah.
Because you got to figure with so many people in such a tight space, all those phones are fighting for that best signal. So it's going to, yeah. And then the thing about it is, because if you don't have your phone, that's your lifeline, especially when you're out of town.
Everything's usually on your phone or access to anything, your apps to be able to get your ride shares, to be able to order food, to be able to prove who you are, to be able to see brackets.
All that good stuff.
Call your mom and let her know you're safe.
All right, so a little note about fashion. So this may sound a little controversial. Some people like to go to conventions and turn these all dripped out and stuff like that. And, that's all fun and games until you realize you got to do a lot of walking, fam. So yeah. I'm going to say this. leave the new kicks at home. Leave the J's at home for this one. Wear shoes that you would wear if you were going to Disney World. Disney World.
Or, you can wear your drip. Bring a bag. I know I'm going out with some shoes that I know I'm not gonna be able to do all this shit in. But I got me a pair of slides either in my bag or I got them in the car or something because I know even just some shoes that are not even that, they're just not meant for walking. They're meant for being, hey, I showed up here, look at the outfit, and then when I'm ready to go, you can see me barefoot in my slides.
And honestly, that goes for fashion all around. You want to dress more for comfort. Yeah, you can have some style and stuff like that, which, once again, check out the High Score Design stores for merch. But you can, I typically have some joggers and a t-shirt. Yeah. Especially for term. Now, for cons, you got your cosplays and stuff like that. That is what it is. We're not talking about that. But
always have that, just know, you want comfort. Fit. Yeah, because that's definitely a thing. Because when I was wearing my Doc Martens, all I did was stand up, and I was like, next time, remind me to have a pair of slides. I actually want to get a pair that I just keep in the car.
But she did look so good in them, though. But I know them dogs was barking, son.
It's going to hurt so bad.
All right. So, keep it on the fashion thing. So, the layer. You want to have an extra layer because, yeah, it may be 90 degrees outside in something like Orlando, but it's 60 degrees inside that venue.
Yeah.
So the gamer AC, any of y'all that been to tournaments or big cons, y'all know it is brick in there.
Yeah, the Doc Martens need a doctor.
Yeah, so
I need a doctor.
so if you don't bring a hoodie, you're gonna be shivering and shaking in the pools, man, and that is gonna mess up your ability to play, and just your ability to mess up the con too. Now, some people are kind of cold natured like Bates. Y'all don't mind the cold.
No, I'm hot natured.
Hot natured.
Yes, I like the cold.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. You don't mind the cold, so maybe you can walk around in 70, 65 degree weather and be good.
But it's also good because wind and all that stuff. I do usually bring something.
Yeah.
But like I said, I always have, when I go out somewhere, I always have either my duffel bag of disaster or I have a book bag. I have something because I leave the house and I've got at least another outfit on me at all times. And that's just from being, I don't know what it is from being.
And I'm glad you mentioned duffel bag of disaster because that's why I have my media bag. Anyone who see me at a tournament, about 95% of the time, I'm bringing my media bag, my book bag. Because, all my controllers in there, a Switch, just all of the Switch system, y'all. I know some of y'all, not the, anyway.
I'm sorry, what's that? What's the Switch? The only Switch I know about other than the game. Oh, word. Yeah. Okay, I was just thinking about, when you gotta go pick a Switch off the tree. Right. I got you, though.
I know some of these YNs watching the clips, they'll be like, bet, we're going to bring one of those.
No, because they won't let you in with that. And if it's not in your name and it's not legal, that's even, don't do that.
Yeah. That's a whole podcast in itself.
Yeah. Check about, get licensed and check where you're at and if it's open and carry and what have you, or you have concealed, because some places like that, you definitely need to know the laws. And if you're a gun owner, definitely know the laws. Because they'll get you on that shit on the technicality.
And you don't want to be in handcuffs when you're about to play grand finals, fam. That's not a good look.
Or when you just met a hot girl in cosplay.
It's been that game. She get your number. She might like it, but anyway. So
she'll tell you to bring the cuffs back.
So another underrated thing to have: a refillable water bottle. Because again, some of y'all been places and they'll charge you like $5-6 for a bottle of water, and
it's just tap water.
And you're just like,
what in the hell is that?
And yeah, like they said, it's just tap water. So that's just theft.
Recycle water. You remember that?
Water that's already been drunk.
Have you the water that was it had an outhouse on it or whatever for a while back because it was recycled? I'm like, I'm sorry, what? You said that water comes from where? The toilet?
No, thank you. So
don't pull a Plaxo Burris.
Thank you.
God damn it.
Rocks knows what I'm talking about. So anyway, man.
I remember that now.
Obviously you a Steelers fan.
I know.
But yeah, especially if you got a flyer, bring the empty bottle through TSA, fill it at the hotel, and save that money for the artist alley or some merch, something like that. All right, so the next tier of stuff to bring. Now, this is specifically for fighting game tournaments. And maybe, some of your shoot 'em up tournaments too. Like your Halos. And people don't play Halo tournaments no more. Overwatch or Call of Duty.
Whatever they got out now.
Right,
whatever y'all into.
All right, so guys, for those of y'all who are competing, and like I said, me and Bates, we've been to quite a few local and major tournaments, so we know what we're talking about. Bring your own controller and your own cable. Do not assume that the setup has a cable. No. Do not assume the person before you left theirs. Do not assume that people are going to let you borrow theirs. Bring it ain't gotta be nothing crazy. Just a 6-foot USB cable will get the job done.
And not assuming it, because that's just rude anyways. Especially if you're in a new place and you gotta bum this off. The way you're gonna look is like a bum, like a doofus. Like why show up to a tournament and you don't have your own shit. Of course, now some places don't tell you what you should bring because they assume you already know.
That's what this guide's for.
And that's another thing too. Instead of just having, if you have the ability or capability to bring more than one, bring two. Not for somebody else, but for your backup. Because if yours falls and breaks, or it just won't take a charge, or it's not compatible, and we make sure his media bag is loaded out. It's decked out with some things we might not need, but just in case, because it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Fact.
And we've had people use the next thing that you're talking about was the converter. We've had people more than one time. It's the same dude at least, but there's been a couple other ones asking to use our converter because I have to use a converter for my Hitbox to play on the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
And it's like,
And
You've known this.
And the converter she's talking about is like the Brooks converter. Y'all probably seen those in tournaments now, especially with because the PS5 kind of made things real difficult in terms of plug and play.
Yes.
So you kind of have to have something like that, especially if you have like your own stick or you want to play specifically with the same PS1 controller that you've had since 1995. Shouts to you for taking care of something like that. But you know, if you have it,
Yeah, Sony is still being a bitch about what they can integrate. Only Sony can touch Sony.
right? But also too, like I said, even though you may or may not want to lend someone out something, it's also like a tip to add value to people, add value to the con. Like you may have saved someone who would have had to DQ themselves out of the bracket because you know people forget stuff. I get that.
And audio aux cords too, because sometimes being able to hear, you know, you need to hear the game. You said that about earbuds was what's coming up next, but the aux cord too, because sometimes they only have like the speaker and you need a better connection.
Yeah, especially for certain games, like people need the visual cues for certain moves and something like that to know what to do. And but here's a key too. Wired earbuds, wired headphones, because Bluetooth has a little bit of lag, so it's going to mess you up, especially in something like fighting games where every reflex matters.
Yeah,
get the wire one. So coming back to the hygiene thing for just for a second, we talked about washing your ass a little bit. So here's a couple of
not washing your ass a little bit. You wash your ass a lot. But yeah,
we talked about it a little bit.
There we go.
We talked about doing it a lot, but some things, some specific things to have. Talking with Blackbeard.
Yeah, right.
All right, so travel deodorant in the backpack.
Yes.
Yeah, so you know you can put it on at 8 a.m. They ain't gonna last you all day.
Or like we do. We don't do a travel one. We just travel with a regular stick because it's like,
yeah,
we got one in the car because we know. And it's you. Yeah. If you don't know, take care of your shit. Just cover your deodorant, not Axe, but deodorant.
Right. Yeah, and it's going to depend on your body.
Not a crystal.
Well, I was going to say because some people, like for me, I have to have an antiperspirant, like the powdery stuff. Some people can kind of do with the clear deodorant.
Yeah, that's fine. If you do deodorant, if you do roll-on deodorant, you don't have to use an antiperspirant unless you need to. But that's more for sweating, not for the smell. Deodorant is for the smell, whether if it's antiperspirant or not. It is for the scent of it. So if you're gonna sweat, fine. But you're not sweating freely near me. I'll douse you in fucking disinfectant.
All right, so something else very underrated too. Hands
wash it, like you said. I was about to say, wash it a lot of bit.
There you go.
Right? Yeah.
So
the whole ass goes in the shower with you and washed.
So speaking of washing and sanitizing, hand sanitizer, very underrated tool that I don't hear a lot of people talk about.
I don't see it a lot more either.
Yeah, especially since COVID is especially,
because they used to have it like everywhere. I love that shit. Big old, nothing made me happier than seeing that big old gallon jug of hand sanitizer somewhere.
There were two things I loved about COVID: that and the fact that there was no traffic on the road. It was beautiful.
And the masks,
it was an introvert's dream. I don't know, the mask kind of.
I liked other people wearing masks, not having to wear one.
Right, I would say
because that MagFest. They tried me, so I didn't wear it. I wore it on my ear, or I put it underneath my chin, and I said, let somebody wag their finger at me.
Yeah, I remember like back in 2021, 2022, there was a lot of, you have your mask on, wear your mask. Wear your mask!
First of all, you ain't the authority on me, motherfucker.
Right?
Because I know somebody said, wear your mask. I said, excuse me? You said, you're supposed to wear your mask. I'll wear it when I'm ready.
Yep. So hand sanitizer, because, we still have people touching controllers and all that kind of stuff and just touching everywhere.
Deputy doofies.
Yep. If you've seen Scary Movie, you just watch Scary Movie 1. My ass.
My ass.
And it's also how you avoid that con crud. We'll touch about that a little bit later too.
That didn't even sound nice.
Touch on
con crud. We'll touch on it? No, we're not.
We're not touching on con crud. We'll talk about it. We will not touch on it.
Yeah.
And something else too that people don't talk a lot about: mints and gum. Because you figure you're gonna be talking to people in close quarters, and you're gonna be yelling and crashing out.
And it's always nice too when the motherfucker's talking that's got bad breath. Just say, "Hey, you want a mint? Here you go." Everybody take one.
Yeah, and it's also could be an icebreaker too. Like I said,
literally an icebreaker.
Icebreakers, mints. Oh man, they're so strong though.
Some people need them. Go for what's the one in the tin?
Altoids.
Yeah,
my mom used to swear by those, and my oldest nephew used to love them too because she loved them. But I can only eat like 2 of them at a time because good.
I throw one in somebody's mouth while they're sleeping. It took them a minute to wake up, but they woke up.
All right. So this last tier of like the packing list is things that you don't necessarily need, but if you got them,
make it easier for you, more convenient.
Mm-hmm. So cash. Small bills. We live in a digital age where I know everyone's taking like the digital readers and stuff like that. Especially when you go to your vendors, your artist alleys,
Or strip clubs.
Yep, strip club.
You know,
Or
you can't swipe a credit card on a stripper's ass.
or if
Not
you go,
yet.
or if you go to any of like the IFMs or anything like that, where we have people selling cookies and shit.
Yeah.
You know, you
Or
want
some cons where they're like, you know, attractive women will step on you for $5. It's just like,
yes, you know, you gotta have it ready because you know the Wi-Fi at these cons is notoriously bad.
or because they didn't bring a power bank, now the phone's dead.
Exactly, they didn't follow one of our first tips. So, point is, cash is king when it needs to be.
Cash will get money talks, bullshit walks, but money, cash money.
And
The last slice of pizza or some shit like that. Like, hey, I got $5. I gotta pull up my app. Take $5 for the pizza. Bam, gone.
Right. So we have a little something called the morning after kit as well. Now, yes, part of that is exactly what you think it is. You know, protection. You know, let's just say, you know, you meet a little something at the con, male or female. You know, we got LGBTQ. You know, in here too. I know.
Oh yeah,
y'all
prepare your that's part of hygiene too. Lube and condoms. Your personal own lube is probably better than someone's spit.
Ugh.
Also condoms.
Spit.
I mean, it works in a pinch.
But also, like I said, you know, plan B just in case, you know, you don't get out in time. You know what I mean? Hey, take this. Wow, you're so resourceful. So prepared.
Hey, I carry condoms around to give to people because I like, my one thing is the way that the laws are changing and shit like that. It's better to prevent than to the, you know, next thing.
Yeah.
And so it's easier and it's legal to prevent, what have you. So, and that's just, you don't want to be, listen, I love people in a way that I'm saying that I love that we're human, I guess. But fuck all that. We got too many of us here. Some of us should die already, and we're living too long. So we shouldn't be bringing any new ones here. And especially if you don't know what you're doing with your life, I promise you having a kid is not going to help you figure it out.
It will not. Do not have kids to save relationships. Doesn't work.
Don't have kids, period, unless you really want them.
Exactly.
Because fuck that shit, bro.
But yeah, that's another podcast in itself right there. So,
as my brother would say, get plenty of sanitation serum.
Yes. Facts. So moving off the sex for a little bit, some other things you might need in the morning after kit. Your painkillers. You know, noisy environments, you might get a headache. So vitamins.
Dealing with assholes, you might get a headache. Being an asshole yourself.
Vitamin C. You know, make sure you got some vitamin C on day, whether it's orange juice
or emergency. Yeah,
emergency stuff or some pills. Melatonin if you have trouble getting some sleep. If you're not Bates, who can just, you know, fall out in the hotel room or in the lobby.
Yeah, well, I mean, if I make up my mind to sleep somewhere when I know I can sleep, because I have a window of opportunity to sleep. I don't know when it comes or whatever, but when it comes and I jump through that window, I don't give a fuck where I am. I could be standing outside, but I was sleeping in the lobby right there at the front window where the doors were.
Yeah, but okay. So quick story about that. So the reason she was able to do that because this was at Maximo last year, and the whole downstairs of the hotel was just for us. so she knew she was in good company.
But I also was near where y'all were playing on.
Yeah,
the
so I'm saying
too.
she knew nobody was gonna mess with her or nothing like that.
I pulled up on that chaise lounge, knocked out with Bubby and everything.
Yeah,
because we'd already checked out the room.
By that time, because it was Sunday and I was doing team tournament and stuff like that. Oh, and as someone who's taking a melatonin gummy, they work. And I'm gonna tell you right now, do not take it until you are ready to go to sleep because you try to take it any other time, don't take it before you drive. Good Lord.
And earbuds or earplugs, because those help me. Because I'm the kind of person I need it to be dark and quiet. Or listen to music. Listen to music's better for me than white noise, but white noise works for people. But if you're rooming with someone, if you got a white noise machine and I don't have earplugs, I'm not sleeping, and therefore you're not sleeping.
There you go.
And then you got motherfuckers that sound like wood chippers, like that dude. The dude that we roomed with the first MagFest.
Oh yeah.
He brought his own earplugs to pass out to people. Like
he already knew what time it was.
Because he's like, listen, I snore. And I'm like, it reminded me like parents that bring like gifts for people on the plane when they have kids. Because it was like, he's like, listen, I'm so sorry, and here's some earplugs. You're free to have as many as you want. I was like, okay, cool, because he was not fucking lying. I'm telling you, you could hear him in the next room.
Right.
It was like a chainsaw.
I guess I don't remember it because I'd slept pretty easily. But shout out to him.
I think you did have an earplug. You put earplugs in too.
I did.
Whoopsies.
Anyway, so now that we talked about, before you get there, what to do, now we talk about once you're actually there, once you step foot on the venue, you got your money together, you took the plane ticket, you drove the car, you're finally there. You're like, wow, I'm in my first tournament. I'm going to beat everybody. So first thing the first opponent you have is the line. Which actually nowadays isn't as prevalent because of things like pre-registration. I know, like, in particular, like Max Mode and stuff like that, they even tell you that you have to pre-register or best you can get is a spectator pass or something like that.
Yeah.
And even MagFest, we went to MagFest and the line was long, but they melted through like so quick because they had different sections.
And that's another thing too, is when to get there for the lines, because they will die out at certain times. Great time to go. But when you need to be somewhere or you have the event that you're supposed to be up for, definitely know your schedule. Mm-hmm. I never know my schedule because he talks about the things I go over something if it stands out that I want to, but I know what he wants to do and I know what time I'm going to be asleep. And we can figure it out and then we'll find each other. And that's the one good thing about being able to communicate openly and expressing, because we don't have to be attached by the hip. I'm not going to be over his shoulder. He's not going to be over my shoulder. But when I'm like, I need you or I want you.
Yeah. And that's a good point too. Maybe some of y'all travel with your significant other or your friends. Take time to explore, especially if you go to a con, like find your own stuff to do. You don't have to, you're with your friends all the time anyway.
Yeah.
Or you have other opportunities to be with your friends. Yeah, have time for stuff like that. Because I know at MagFest, we'll have certain events that we do with our friends. Like one of our friends cooks ramen for everybody. We had like our birria one night. What else? Another friend hosts like a beer meetup, which is pretty cool. And there was some, like all the little stuff that do like the Church of Coffee. So it's good to have, or I know at the FGC, a big part of it is going out to eat sometime during the tournament. Like I remember going to IFM and, before I started talking to Bates again. And what happened was like after every IFM, there was a post-tourney meal. So they go to a restaurant or whatever, and it'd be awesome.
Stop happening?
I think they still do it, but with us, we'd be like kind of ready to go.
Oh yeah,
by a certain time.
And because we got to get back here.
Yeah, but that was also 2 hours working too, so I would have to be back in time for like to get ready for the truck and all that kind of stuff.
You know what you're doing tomorrow? Fucking shuffling that.
Oh, we might have to like actually stay through the next IFM we go to. Yeah. It might have gotten too big now. I have to ask Brandometry. But anyway, so speaking of, back on the subject of lines and stuff like that. So like too big.
But too big is.
Anyway, so if you go to somewhere where there is a long line, here's something to consider. You don't have to do this, but especially if you're trying to use this opportunity to meet new people, bring a Switch, a Steam Deck or something like that, or just a willingness to talk to the person in line with you. Because here's the thing that I've noticed about cons and tourneys. It's an instant icebreaker.
Yeah.
Like you automatically have the same, the conversation piece is built into the event.
Yeah. And it's also a great opportunity to hand out some mints or gum.
Yes, it is.
Hand sanitizer all around.
Mm-hmm. Or just introduce people to you. And again, do you have to do that? No, but
I mean, it's an opportunity to take advantage of the opportunity, but you can also be quiet and
mind
whatever.
Your business.
Yeah, exactly.
Mind your business.
Because you know what? There's nothing better for your health and safety than minding your motherfucking business.
Hey, Dom DeMarco. Anyway, so we talked a little bit about Con Cup before. Let's kind of get back into that. And if you don't know what Con Crud is, that's getting sick after an event, which is very possible with so many people from different walks of life coming together. So one thing I typically do is fist bumps overhead handshakes. There you go.
Or even I'm a fan of, I like the elbow one better.
Yeah, or elbow. Yeah, that works.
Because I've seen people use the back of their hands for some types of shit, and I'm just like, Deputy Doofy, stay away from me.
Mm-hmm. We talked about hand sanitizer earlier. Have that, and just usually the centers that you have these places in, they're very dry. You're going to get dehydrated.
Oh God,
fast.
Yes.
So water helps with that too. Make sure you have plenty of water. We talked about the water bottle.
Oh yeah, and some eye drops and nasal sprays, things that you normally wouldn't use, but because you're in a place where you don't control the temperature and environment, things like that, and you can order them off of Amazon. They got really good ones that are for that, like purpose for
travel.
They got the melatonin gummies. They got the sleep ones. The Harris Teeter has little kits already made up like that too. Or you can just, get them yourself. It's easier to buy a kit already set up, but piecemealing it for the exact things that you need for yourself.
Especially if you go to like a lot of cons, just buy a bunch of them in bulk and put them together as you need to.
Yeah.
So, we talked about this too, the food court trap, where we found this out at the last MagFest. We did such a good job on this, y'all. So at MagFest, and maybe some other cons and tournaments that you know of too, the venue food where they have like just the basic chicken tenders and fries or something like that for $16.
And that's not even with the drink.
Right, you don't get no drink with that or nothing. 16. We went to playthrough and it was like, it was kind of up there. Raleigh.
Oh my God, there was a fucking concession stand. I've seen high school concession stand have better fucking food than this.
And they still had the nerve to charge like $15 for a chicken. I think they at least gave you a drink though.
They did give you a drink and a side, and the drinks the cup, as long as you had it, you could get free refills the whole time.
So
because I take advantage of that shit.
That was cool. Which I guess in a pinch, is better than nothing. But
I mean, and especially because of the time constraint, or what have you. But you should plan ahead of that, because I'm telling you what, those chicken tenders and fucking fries were not satisfying. They served a purpose because I was hungry as fuck. Yeah. But other than that, no, we didn't eat there again.
Nah, and that's because we went to the grocery store beforehand. We communicate with our roommates like, hey, this is what y'all guys are bringing. This is what we're bringing. So, hit up a grocery store, CVS on day one, or even before your road trip.
Yeah, plan it before because even when with our first one, we had chili, we had baked cookies and stuff. So we had to hide those in the trunk so we didn't eat them all before we got there. But we knew that we were going to be short on time and how expensive everything was. And we're particular about what types of food that we have, and we don't like to have to order and say what's on. Like it's just not. It's annoying as shit, and they usually always fuck it up.
Going to a new place, having to order DoorDash, and you may not be used. Yeah, it's weird. Or having to settle for Domino's or Pizza Hut or something like that.
Now we have been lucky enough to be able to find I try to read reviews, and then other people if I trust and know you about food, then I'll take your Jess definitely.
Oh yeah.
Any place that she suggests or tells me, either watch out for or whatever, I'm like, yep, I got you.
She's
like
my
Bible on food like that. I wouldn't contradict her. I wouldn't second guess her. Nothing.
But honestly, this one too, she never has steered me wrong as far as food. Because remember that pizza we ordered at MagFest? That was delicious.
Damn good pizza, and it was big.
Right? Like I remember you walked through the lobby. You had like this big old thing with one hand. You were just walking, looking all good and shit. I was like,
pizza.
I was like, hot girl bringing me pizza? Is this my birthday?
The only thing I would say is he didn't have a pizza bag, and that kind of upset. But also think about how big that is.
There's not fit no pizza bag.
I mean, you'd have to have a special one for that. And he was a platinum rating, so
yeah. And I think the place was close enough too, where
it was. I know we ate the fuck out of that pizza.
Yeah,
you ate more than you planned to with the first time because we were eating. Yeah, it was good.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, avoid food courts because.
Oh, also, if you have a preference for alcohol, a certain alcohol beverage that is limited or what have you, or may be limited in the areas that you're traveling to, bring your own shit.
Yeah, just bring your own alcohol.
I know.
Actually, don't even buy it at the venue. Don't buy it at the hotel bar. Just bring your own alcohol.
Because you're gonna, how it is. You know how more it's expensive as fuck, especially when it's during events like that.
Oh yeah.
So they know that they can just charge people out the ass, and it's wildly ridiculous. Yeah, and you're not gonna get at a bar, Super Bar. I love going there. And when they finally had my Voodoo Ranger Juice Force, I was ecstatic. But then it was $1 more, a little bit more than $1 more at a Super Bar than it was at the store. I'm fine. I don't want to have to because they won't let me bring my own in there allegedly. And then but then they brought down the tall boy and they did the little mini cans and they're charging the same fucking price
that you would
for $1 more. Yeah, for but it's $1 more than the QT. But it's not a tall boy anymore. You're charging me the same for that shit. They're like, well, it's 9.5. Bruh, I know it's 9.5. I know it's 9.5. I want to know who out here is buying a 9.5 beer and chugging that shit. But that's apparently people were getting too rowdy, and that's why they stopped selling it in that size. I'm like, bro, I'm an alcoholic by nature.
Actually, yeah, that makes sense because
it's like people we can't have nice things. We can't have good alcohol because motherfuckers be drinking.
Can't handle they fucking liquor.
Because who in the OG times of the OG Four Loko motherfuckers, high school college kids they thought that an entire party of sorority and whatever, they thought they had been roofied. No, they were chugging whole Four Locos, 2 and 3 at a time, bro. And they survived.
Millennials drinking habits. I'm gonna tell you right now, like there was like a stat or something like that that said Gen Z doesn't drink as much. Yeah, because they seen their parents and their big brothers and sisters almost kill themselves with Four Loko, and was like, no.
Well, now that pot's getting, pot is more legal and more, socially acceptable, and it's better for you. Alcohol is trash. As somebody who is, gonna not stop drinking anytime soon, at least. But I also am not a fall over drunk, blackout drunk, I'm in my right state of mind. So,
functioning alcoholic.
Yes. I need alcoholic more for the safety of the people around me than anything else. Right. Or not maybe the safety. No, it's the safety. It's cool.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about, specifically for tournaments, FGC specific tournaments, because I know you have been to your first tournament recently. Walk us a little bit about your experience going to in your first tournament for the first time.
I went to my first tournament.
I think I took you to Tournament of Thrones first, maybe.
Yeah, because I had competed before that though, but I had gotten back into it because my controller and shit. Well, I know this. I was excited as fuck, but also like a nervous Nelly because I didn't want to. I knew there were people that were going to be better than me, but I didn't want to just completely flop. But I also know this. I play games for fun. I know it's a tournament and you compete and whatnot and winners or whatever. And I know that's what's something a loser would say, but fuck you. It's important to know that it is just a game, that it's okay to lose, because if you're going to win, that's the only other option is to lose. So, that's a part of it. Enjoy yourself. And like you said, be prepared, because I have is my box over there?
Box? It's there. Oh, nothing's in it.
I know, yes. It's just to show the box. This is what I have packed full. Nothing is in it, though. But I have my little hitbox in there. I have my headphones. I have my extra cables. I have 2 charger cables in there. One of them is in there. And then my extra keycap and one of the tools for my hitbox. And it's also, I can keep my phone in there.
So one mindset I like to go in with tournaments is that I can beat everybody in here. I can, with the tools that the game allows, I can beat anyone in here. Any and everyone. But I'm also humble enough to realize that, these other people in here, they paid their money. They took time out of their life or whatever to come to this tournament. They could beat me too. And they could if I don't lock in. So, but with that being said, Bakes kind of touched on this a little bit, but drowning in pools. Some of y'all have heard of it, but if you don't know, it's basically just means you go 0-2. You lose 2 games and you're out, because most tournaments are double elimination.
Oh yeah, that's me. Although the last one that I didn't. That's what. Oh my god! I don't even talk about that shit, because then who did I have to face?
We might tell that story, but and some of y'all know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so just keeping in the sake of the guide, most people are going to go 0-2, guys. Like most of the people that go to these conventions in tournaments, they're going to go to 0-2. So the sooner you normalize this, you're not going to be as scared to compete.
And accepting that. And that's another thing I don't know if it touches on the same subject about that, but there's a reason why people are like, well, we don't host tournaments, or we don't have tournaments like this. They're like, in your area, you got a bunch of them. In our area, it's not like that. And I'm like, yeah, because most people psych themselves out about it before they even get there. And it's like, don't tell yourself, first of all, on my whole thing, podcast or not, do not negative self-talk yourself. Do not beat yourself up in your own head using other people's words and thoughts about you. That's not your shit. Do better than that. You are better than that. But when it comes to tournaments, you want to have fun, go have fun. And if you can't accept losing, then don't compete, because
don't go.
Then it's not for you. That's
right.
Cool. It's understandable. You know your limits.
And I'll say it's like, because people talk about people being sweaty at tournaments, stuff like this is my word on that. So remember, when you go to tournaments, you're playing against people who do this for a living, especially the big tournaments. Like people's careers is this. So yeah, they're gonna take it seriously. So if that's too much for you, then like I said, just either go with the mindset you're just gonna play casuals and have fun, or like go to a convention or something.
That's what I was gonna say. Is casuals are further with the non-competition. Like that's,
go to a non-competitive environment. But if you're gonna go to a tournament, understand.
And, yeah, it's gonna be, and people people are going to use your weakness. There are people that can download you when you think you're winning. They're going to let you get that first round because they're going to see what you do and they're going to knock you off your ass the rest of the round.
Yep, all the big combos and stuff that they're going to do them. Why? Because they want to win. It is what it is.
And yeah, but in casuals, you won't catch them being sweaty like that. Now I can see you having a problem with this cat. We're talking casuals. Talk about casuals, but no, in casuals, most people are open for it, and they will give you a lot of suggestions and tips. Some of them have learned that unsolicited information or tips like that is not necessary. So they might ask you if you want, I don't know most people who are big and named and what have you. He leans in to let me know. But other than that, I don't know who you are. And quite frankly, I don't give a shit.
And I think, like basically saying, a lot of people, we're learning social cues and stuff like that. We're kind of figuring out that, hey, maybe don't insert your opinion for someone who didn't ask for it. Okay, if they want to go 0-2, let them go 0-2. So, as far as like some tech stuff, check your damn buttons. Definitely something that's going to save you some embarrassment. In a lot of games now, they have it where you can check it before you even get into the match. You can like adjust your buttons. You can press and make sure they work. Or sometimes depending on who you're playing against, you can say, hey, you want to do a button check? Because sometimes the pre-match button check you want to make sure that when you press something,
it does what it's supposed to do. And
right.
I've been lucky enough or fortunate enough to have opponents that they they'll even like, which side do you want? Because I've gotten better at starting on whichever side. I still don't like it being on the right side, but that's just personal preference. But other than that, they'll ask, do you want to rock, paper, scissors for it?
I was going to say, be prepared to not always have your side.
Yeah. And another thing that I can't stand, which is fucking wild, is if I'm sitting on the right and I'm playing on the left. That shit burns my goddamn nerves up so bad. But people that you're playing with that have been playing forever, they could be playing upside down backwards. They know what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like, as long as they can see the screen, they're good. And I can't. Executioner's an asshole for that shit too. Because he sits there and plays on that damn pad like it's a guitar.
Yeah. Oh yeah. A lot of Tekken, like old school Tekken players, they'll finger the controller. Yeah, they'll do that. I can't. But it works for them. Shout out to old school Tekken players.
It'd be actually cool if you did have like Guitar Hero. Just like somebody's ass. Guitar Hero.
I gotta show you that video. Someone was playing like Street Fighter 4 against me like a long ass time ago. They were playing me online and they recorded it and they were playing with guitar. Or was it a rock? It was some rock band thing. It was the piano or the drum or the guitar.
If it was the drums, fuck them for that shit. You need to put that video on ASAP.
Yeah, if I find that video,
I've gotten used to sides thanks to Marvel against Blackbeard Slim.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, sides. Yeah.
What do you mean, like switching sides, whatever side?
Yeah, whatever side was available. So
the Marvel.
Yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Marvel. It's Marvel.
Which one did I play though? Remember when I beat that kid that was trying to flirt with me or ask me?
That was Marvel vs. Capcom 1.
Okay,
that was the first one. So, especially for my PlayStation guys, this one's huge, and some of y'all know where I'm about to go. Yo, if you're gonna bring your DualShock 5s, this thing right here, unpair it after the match, because what happens is if you don't do that, you might accidentally pause or go into the welcome back to PlayStation screen or something like that, and depending on the tournament, you can get kicked out for that. You can get disqualified, or maybe even banned if it's like a constant thing, because it messes up the tournament. For them to have to stop and find the controller.
And something you should do too is you should put some type of
identification. Oh,
I got a solder 9. I think you can put your BBS. I said BBC.
That's a very good. Hey, I am the BFG for the BBC.
Hey yo, chill.
But yeah, base makes an interesting point as well. So now this is easy for someone that has like a hitbox or a fight stick or something like that. You know it's yours. You can personalize it. But if you're just kind of rocking the traditional PS5 controller or like the Switch controller, if you're a Smash player or something like that, have some kind of identifying, even if it's just a sticker.
As Clark Kellogg would say, end up getting Dairy Queen.
Not Dairy Queen.
I want to know what that's from.
DQ. Dairy Queen.
Okay, Dairy Queen, because that's not what I was thinking.
I never heard it. Oh, ooh. Yeah, I was thinking something kind of nasty too.
What was it that Yaya had said something, and we were like, that sounds the Dirty Snowman. That's that's another.
I do remember that.
Oh my god! And then it snowballed into other things that we were just So I thought that said butt cheek inspector. The button check icebreakers.
Oh man. So this next segment is talking about for the people who are going to their first tournament, like, or for people who like to go by themselves, or maybe who are kind of apprehensive about going by themselves, because that
hey, what's up? Thank you for the biddies, Al.
Oh, Nimbus with the bits, appreciate that.
The whole damn town's here.
All right.
Ain't seen him since the 80s, bro.
So going into like for the person that's going by themselves, because especially with safety and that kind of stuff, someone could be apprehensive about going to a tournament solo. And I know, not that I was scared, but I used to go to tournaments by myself for the longest before, the first made here. And before I started getting to know some of the community. So I had like instant, friends when I came through. What you got there? Oh, weapons. Okay. Probably shouldn't have that. I may have to edit that one out. It's all good. It's all
Why
good.
not? Why not?
Because Twitch.
It's not an actual weapon. It's actually an accessory. And it's pink.
Yeah. But
it's for defense.
Something that's good to have, for people that are worried about defense. But, ugh.
And it can be necessary as well. But I mean, whatever it is that, fear is healthy as long as it doesn't prevent you from living your daily life.
Yes. Fear is your body kind of being like, hey, maybe you shouldn't do that.
Yeah. It's always a chance to take a breath, think about things, and maybe do it or don't do it. But know what your limits are. And a lot of people are reckless.
Have boundaries.
And so don't think about so much on the big scale of what somebody may do, because you can't predict that. And that's going to leave you in a lot of...
control that.
Yeah, and exactly. Put your energy and efforts into things that you can control, within your power. Like what I just showed. That's within your power to control and not have, and have for yourself. That's it. Sorry.
so even on a smaller scale, because I know a lot of times, I'll go to tournaments and stuff like that. People are running casuals. They'll play like 10 games in a row, and it's usually because no one's called next. And it's just like, I'm thinking, why don't these people just call next? Because I know a lot of people, social anxiety, all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, you never know. And I don't like at a bar. When I go, sometimes I'll go and sit up there, but I've got it like before, because they do like, what is it, 2 out of 3? Or is it 3 out of 5, whatever? And so I'm like, who's got next? I want to know who's got next. And I'll take my controller out of my hitbox out of my little box, and I'll set it on the coffee table, and then I'm like, who's got next?
And that's exactly what I was going to get to. That's pretty much what I do with tournaments too. Like if I'm watching people play, I know they've been playing a while, or if I just want to get in, I'm like, hey, yo, who got next? Or something or let's just say someone's playing by themselves. Just ask, hey, you want to run a set? Because remember, you don't need like small talk. The game is the conversation.
It's like one time you said who got next? I was like, me when we were there at a bar, because it was playing. I forgot who played. Coffee Scott, man, I haven't seen Al Nimbus since Will Smith and DJ Jazzy Jeff released Summertime. Damn.
Oh my God, that's lovely.
I was just thinking about Will Smith the other day. He doesn't have to cuss in his records to sell rap.
But I do.
So fuck you, fuck him too.
I'll think about that song too. Shout out to Eminem.
Yeah.
But yeah, point is, when you go to these events, we talked about it before. You have an instant icebreaker just by being there. You have a common interest with the person being there. You may not agree on everything, but
and that's a good thing about having differences are going to arise in every walk of your life. Celebrate the differences rather than scrutinizing people for them, because what they have and you don't isn't necessarily a bad thing or a good thing. It's just different, and it's cool because we're all weird, just different brands. Understand that part, and there are some non-negotiables in life, like washing your ass, sleeping and eating. Those are everybody needs those things. So, and I mean it, everybody needs to wash their ass, and everybody needs somebody to have their ass washed around. That's
call back humor, baby,
for sure. But it's
So going back to controls for a sec. So you don't want to. You typically, especially the bigger tournaments, you don't want to leave your stuff unattended. No. Smaller tournaments, especially if you know the people, you might be okay. But just as a hard and fast rule, like we talked about being attached at the hip, your stuff needs to be attached at the hip.
It does, doesn't it?
Yep. Your stuff needs to be attached at the hip. But yeah, controller in the pocket or your bag, whatever it is, you need to have it with you.
I was about to have to get rude when we were there in, was it Playthrough in Raleigh? Is that what it was?
Maybe.
Because your bag was underneath the table and they were about to compete.
Oh, yeah.
And I was trying to get that dude's attention, and the chick had to come over to me. I said, I'm saying, she's like, they're competing. I'm like, my bag's underneath there. I'm trying to get a fucking autograph.
So that's a good thing to understand too, like dealing with the staff and stuff like that. Just
know that they have the authority to keep you from, they can, DQ you, they can make you leave maybe not physically, but they can get security to tell you to leave the venue.
Right.
That's totally fine. Most of the time, though, I'm an authoritarian. I'm a disciplinarian. You're not gonna. You better finger wag somebody fucking else. So I know.
But if you're not Bates, just be mindful of how you never know who you're talking to. So just keep that in mind too.
Yeah, well, they need to know who they're talking to.
And you know what? That's a good point too. Because we're all humans, we all deserve to be treated with
and
respect.
Carry yourself the way that you would want to speak to people the way you would want to be spoken to. And I say that,
about.
yeah, or spoken. Fuck that shit. But I can't give you advice on that one. People talk about me in all kinds of fashions, but you know what?
I say all that to say, I know Bates kind of disagrees with me on that, but your reputation does follow you, especially if you do plan on going to cons. So, like, you don't want to be that guy or that girl that. Like, Blackberry, you kind of asshole, you know? Because we've seen that firsthand. Like, people, you know, they kind of alienate themselves from the community because of their actions. So, just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, well, I mean, just don't be walking around like a dickhead, though. And that's the point of it is that. And
yes, be willing to stand up for yourself. Just don't be a dick.
Yeah, like if you know, yeah. It's Arepa.
Anyway, so. That's one more thing. So in terms of traveling alone,
I feel you. I got too many swaggy controllers. Facts, man.
See, Henrocks is on it, man. But if you travel, one thing you can do. Again, you don't have to do this, but something you can do is find a con buddy, you know, on Discord or someone. Maybe just the person you talked in line with. You know, kind of have like a little mini pack like Forrest and Bubba. You know, be looking out for one another, like brothers and stuff.
Like brothers. Dick stuck in here.
But also too, over time as you start to go more of these, people start recognizing you're like, yo, Blackbeard. Or,
yeah. And then Bates. Looking forward to, or to let you know, like what they're gonna be doing, and just like, you know, the meetups and stuff like that. You know, key things that you will be like that are kind of exclusives. Yeah,
like for that exclusive group, because like people will, whenever I go to tournaments, whatever, sometimes I've had to go to myself. First thing they ask me, "Where's Bates?" Oh. Yeah, see, the people love you. Mm-hmm. That's because, you know, Bates is a pleasure to be around.
Yes. Even when
until you cross her.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, though. I can centralize it. It's like, even though if I was speaking to you that way, it would make you uncomfortable. But since I'm not speaking to you that way, you're like, well, what is this? What did you do? Because there's not going to be something that you hear about me usually that isn't true. Just know that there's a reason behind it. If I ever treated him, if I talk to you like you're a bitch, you're acting like one. If I talk to you like you're a child, you're acting like one.
All right, so for this last segment, we're going to talk about common mistakes or even specific mistakes that, you know, we've made and we've seen others make and, you know, kind of avoiding them. So let's talk about this gummy situation real quick. Because,
oh my God. Okay.
You tell us so much better.
So on, was it Wednesday morning? Yes.
Yeah. Before we left.
Yeah, Wednesday morning. It's like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning, and he's gone. He's left to go to Walmart. And I was on my period. I was very uncomfortable and I wasn't feeling good. And so I decided to take one of our friends' gummies. It was spicy CBD and Delta 9. And apparently it's like one of the most potent gummies that the shop that she goes to has, because she's built up a tolerance. Well, I took a whole one. I didn't even, like, it didn't really come with instructions or anything like that. And I didn't ask because it was early in the morning. They were still in bed. And I texted him. I was like, I'm probably going to be high when we get home. And then I started feeling like immediately the pain left, my cramping and stuff like that. Then I texted him again. We were just talking about picking up food or whatever. I wanted coffee. And I said, oh, yeah, I'm more than likely going to be high by the time you get back. And then before he got back, I was like, yeah, I'm fucking high. But I did not realize to the extent that was just the beginning of how high I would be. It
kind of reminds me like in 22 Jump Street where they were kind of going through the different stages of the drug they were taking.
Oh my God, yes. Because I was sitting there, we were making jokes, Brandon laughing or whatever, and I was leaning and kept leaning till I was damn near laying down talking. I'm like, how the fuck I get here? The ride was pretty good, pretty cool. I slept a little bit, didn't I?
You slept a lot.
Okay, I slept a lot. Never mind. Anyways,
you slept about 8% of the ride. I think the only thing you woke up for was food.
Food and to pee. Yeah. And then, but when we got to the hotel, I talk a lot, incessantly almost. And so when we got there, all I did was stare at everything with big wide eyes. That's about all I laugh because people talk to me. And then that was it. Because I was like, I was white girl wasted. I was gone. And I'm like, this is not cool anymore. Well, then I talk about taking the gummy, and Brandon says, that's one of our friends, he says that he took a quarter of one and was high for 36 hours. a quarter of one. I took a whole
Yeah, I was
one.
like, how much did you take, man?
I took a fucking whole one. And I was messed up from Wednesday morning until Saturday evening. Almost the entirety of the event.
So a couple of mistakes I've made. So one, we talked about registering before. Now this again, you're probably not going to make this mistake in future tournaments because they've kind of have ways around this. But it used to be where you could register last minute for tournaments, like when Final Round was a thing in Atlanta. You used to be able to register like on site.
Oh,
so
no, sorry.
yeah, so trying to register on site was kind of a cardinal sin because you would get you would be seated terribly. You would get seated against like one of the big names. And matter of fact, I think the last time I pre-registered was that infamous clip of me getting my ass whooped by JDCR in Tekken Tag Tournament 2.
Damn.
I learned right then and there, pre-register. But now, like I said, a lot of these tournaments you have to pre-register.
And even if they do still allow you to register at the venue, it's more. It costs more. Like exponentially more. They'll double it sometimes depending on that because it's just like it's inconvenient and it's hard because they do it as a process that they're seating you based on your experience and what to do so you can have a chance to kind of up rank and what have you. But
yeah, and also quick shout out to everyone that pre-registered for the Tekken for the Tekken Tuesday Grand Prix tomorrow. 16 it makes my job so much easier as a TL. All I have to do is seed, which I'm gonna do tonight before I go to bed. Yeah.
No, I'm saying.
I did that earlier.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway. But yeah, when you pre-register for tournaments, it does make TL's job a lot easier, and it makes the tournament itself go a lot smoother.
And it's like better for you as a competitor too to have that done ahead of time.
Just one less thing you got to worry about when you get there. So we talked about shoes, for example. She's talking about she wore her Doc Martin. She said. So I wore my Kenneth Coles one time during I think a tournament, just even like a local tournament.
We were at Raleigh that one time when we walked to that place.
Yeah,
and I had to convince him because I was wearing slides.
That's what it was. It was playthrough because I was wearing the Kenneth Coles. I think I'd be all right because we walked to get somewhere to eat. We walked about what?
We walked all the way. We walked from the hotel to the food court.
It was like a 15-minute walk.
Yeah, it was a good clip.
Nice number of blocks.
We went. Yeah, it was a hot minute though, and it was a nice walk, but it was also a walk. And on the walk back, he already knew before we finished the walk there that his shoes were not the proper, not good. But I was wearing slides. Like I said, I carry slides, and I had to convince him. We was before we got to the park when we were gonna have to cross through.
Like we were like halfway on the way back.
Yeah, and I convinced him to wear my slides, and I could wear his shoes. I was like, I could wear Dad's shoes. Because I knew that my slides would be just a little bit smaller for his feet, but they're slides, so they're open. Yeah, they got enough, and they were better on his feet. And of course, my feet aren't as big as his, so the shoes wouldn't wear on my feet.
Because what happened was like the tops of my toes were kept brushing against the top of the shoes, and it was creating blisters and shit. So yeah, not fun.
And so this is another take up from that. When I had to convince him, what I said is that powering through or manning up is not masculine. It's stupid because it's detrimental to you. You're hurting yourself. Nobody benefits from that. So take that or leave it however you want to. But yeah, if you're hurting yourself, and it's even if it is to a benefit for someone else or for yourself, damaging your body, no matter how minuscule or how large, is not
in the long
good.
term. No,
it's not a good thing for you. It's not going to take care of you. Don't do that shit. If it hurts or it bothers you, stop it. Figure out. Or like the next day, I happen to have one sock.
So also be strategic on when you buy merch. So if you don't have a place to carry your merch, for instance, maybe wait until Sunday or something like that. Because a lot of people, again, that kind of goes back to having a room at the venue. If you have a room at the venue, it's easy. Just take your merch up to your room. But imagine if you were one of those poor souls that got the venue all the way across town. Now you got to lug the freaking 6-foot stuffy of Snorlax that you bought in the artist alley. You got to lug that around the entire thing, and you got to get it. You
got to get its own pass.
Yeah, you got to get it a pass, and just be smart about buying merch and where you're going to store it and all that kind of stuff. And also, drink water. Hydrate, for God's sakes. We're going to keep telling you that forever. Hydrate.
You're 80% water. Your body needs water. Not. I know that the other drinks, sodas or whatever, have water in them, but you are not going to get that water. It's necessary. You need water.
Exactly.
Oh, you didn't play my intro.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the
Goofy Goober. I forgot about that when I did it the second one.
I should have did that when I introduced you.
I forgot.
Before. It's all good.
Okay.
But so anyway, so that's pretty much the travel guide in a nutshell. So we touched on a couple of different things. We talked about what to do before. We talked about making sure, one, you can even afford to go,
Yes.
and setting things up beforehand with people that you know.
Be realistic about whether you can or cannot afford it, because like that's the whole Uber food. Those things that you need for sustenance. You can't just go live off of vending machine food, or
You can't be like Theo Huxtable, RIP, and live off bologna and cereal.
Yeah. Because even now that shit's expensive. Where you gonna keep it at? Because
Yeah, we talked about what to do when you get there. Just making sure like you pre-register. Talked about what to do if you have a line. We talked about hygiene. We talked about what to bring to tournaments. We talked about how to avoid spending $16 for chicken tenders.
that weren't even that good.
Right, the freaking Tyson chicken tenders.
The chicken tenders at the concession stand were better than the chicken tenders that we spent $16 on at McFest.
Mm-hmm.
And you got more.
Man, that's another podcast episode in itself. We talked about some kind of some simple do's and don'ts, like wear the right shoes, drink water.
Wash your ass.
We talked about some things to do at the tournament specifically, like one, call next if you want to play.
Yeah.
We talked about making sure your controller is desynced.
Yep.
Make sure you don't stink. Wash your ass.
And deodorize.
Yep. And just talked about the fact that, go in knowing that, you could beat everybody, but everyone could beat you.
Yeah.
So that's going to conclude this episode.
Be your biggest hype man, too. Hype yourself up. Don't think that you can't do something, because you might as well not be there.
Exactly.
But that's a podcast in itself, too. Just negative self-talk. All right. I bit my tongue.
She a little bit of tongue, a little bad.
Ooh.
But anyway, that's going to conclude this episode of the High Score Haven podcast number 9.
Oh, we got to hydrate.
Yep. Go ahead and get us some water right quick. We're gonna hydrate, and we're probably gonna chill in the chat, see what they say for a little bit.
I said, don't talk about it, be about it.
But we are going to stop the recording and then talk to chat for a little bit. And until the next one, you are dismissed. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording now. Y'all have a good one.